everyone, and welcome to Skin Goals. We're so happy to see you again. I'm your host, Lisa Avalos, and this is Kelly.
Hey everyone, so happy to be here. And today we have a wonderful, fun experience with a career series. We're diving back in with our fabulous Dr. Hawasatu Dumbuya, who we love.
Woo! So excited for you to
excited.
be here.
Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be here again.
Amazing. And all right, I want to say your official title. Correct me if I have it wrong at all. Okay. So at L'Oreal, you're the Director of Clinical Research and Medical Affairs for La Roche-Posay, USA.
Right. Yes, that's
Okay.
right.
Amazing.
Can you break that down for us? What does that mean?
Yeah, sure. So pretty much I oversee all the clinical research studies supporting our products. And I also am in charge of building the scientific communication backing up our product. So for example, you know when you are watching TV and you hear clinically tested by or dermatology tested by, I'm the lady behind these terms.
Wow.
I hear that all the time.
All the time.
And now I know the face behind the clinically tested by. So amazing. Okay.
And who would have thought, guys? L'Oreal's just not lipstick and nail polish. We do love our lipstick and nail polish, but
That's true.
lots of scientists, lots of research. So we're excited to deep dive on your career today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you ready
I'm ready.
to dive in? Well, before we dive into you, we always love to, so we're doing the career series today, and we want to get in. I cannot wait to hear about your journey before, during L'Oreal, all of it, why you want to become doctor. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about our journey, because our journey's been an evolution. I don't know if your journey's been an evolution.
Yeah,
Yes.
same.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely, so I started really, like, my first love was always makeup. Like we were just saying, I was like the caboodle. I had a caboodle. I would be handing out like, makeovers at every family party to all my cousins and aunties. That's the real beginning, right? For me in my journey. And then through college, I started working behind the counter, and then I completed my marketing degree, and then the opportunity to come to L'Oreal happened for me. So and I've had so many different roles within L'Oreal. It's been an incredible ride for me. How about you, Lisa?
Yeah, my journey is a little different. I started by answering a newspaper ad, guys, circling the paper for like a makeup artist job. So I worked at a little
cool.
boutique, a little boho boutique.
Right.
And that's how my journey started in college, graduated. I became a teacher. Hi, all my students out there. Became a teacher, did that for like 7 years, all while doing makeup still. Sometimes you
Yeah.
need that little side money as a teacher. So I was still working at the counter on the weekends, on, breaks and things like that. And then I got a big opportunity to work for a retailer and got a big break in beauty that way. And came over to L'Oreal. So very
Journeys.
different journeys, and so fun to see where we're all at
Yeah.
now.
I love that your journey included teaching. Like, I feel like you're such a great communicator, and I could see you getting your chops, like your communication chops, teaching those kiddos.
It's a
Like,
show every day. You do a lesson
Yeah.
plan and you keep repeating it 8 times a day. You get pretty good at it.
yes. Yeah. Okay. So you're like, you had it going.
Yeah.
Love it. So Dr. Awa. Well, is Dr. Awa okay? Or do we
It's
like
okay, but you have to call me Awa. Eventually, both of you will need to call me Awa. Just Awa.
Awa. Okay. All right. So, Dr. Awa. Awa. What was your like initial journey like? Did you always know that you wanted to go into clinical research or into the beauty industry, or what was yours?
Yeah, so very similar to both of you, to be honest. Kind of follow the passion, follow the interest. Totally not the plan to be here where I am today, but I'm so glad I am and very grateful. So I got to start by, telling a little bit of my family history. I can't talk about what I do now and how I got to be here without my family history. So my parents are originally from Sierra Leone, West Africa. I was born with my brother. We were both born and raised in France. So in France, I was the kid that used to love playing teacher, similar to you. Used to love to present at a very early age and my ideas and what I thought about nature. So my mother picked up on that very quickly. But in France, I was actually on the track of becoming a social worker because I wanted to help other immigrants' families who have arrived to France, help them adjust to the French life.
Yeah.
So I always had this passion to kind of give back to my community. But then at the age of 15, my family and I moved to the United States, settling in Boston.
Yes.
And as excited as we were, my younger brother, that yes, we're going to live in America now, we were very anxious because we didn't know English.
Yeah.
So I came to the US, barely speaking English. All I knew at the time was really my favorite, the lyrics of my favorite rap songs. 50 Cent and Ja Rule. I just want to say that. Shout out. Shout out. So I come to the US and they put me in sophomore year of high school in English language learners classes. Okay. So the first year was all about adjusting to the American life, learning English. But after 1 year, I transferred out of the English language learners classes into the mainstream classes, so meaning with native English speakers. And senior year, that allowed me to take an anatomy and physiology class. And that's what really sparked my interest in health sciences. I really learning about the human body, like how am I able to speak to both of you and move my arm, for example,
at the
same time.
And why is that so challenging for some people?
Right.
Like myself.
Exactly. But I was so fascinated. I was like, wow, the human body has all these different capabilities. I thought that was really cool. And at the time, one of the projects that the teacher gave us, which really, at the time, I didn't know what that meant. But he gave us an assignment where we needed to pretend that our teacher was this very rich company looking for new project ideas. And we needed to, we needed to present to him a new research idea for him to sponsor. So I remember doing a lot of research about, I don't even remember the disease that I studied, right? But just learning about this new disease and how can I pitch my idea to the teachers for him to say, yes, I'm going to sponsor it and it's going to become an A, right? Oh. But that project really sparked my interest in health sciences and it developed those scientists inside of me because from that class, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to college. That's it. I'm going to become a pediatrician because I love kids. I love health sciences. So I was like, okay, pediatrician makes sense.
Yeah.
So I go to college now with the intention of going to medical school afterwards. But once again, in college sophomore year, I took a molecular biology course, sparked my interest in cancer research. And after college, I decided to go to graduate school instead of medical school and really be trained as a cell biologist / physiologist. So that's how I started my career. It was really, coming from France, not knowing any English, being in this one science class, took another science class in college and really sparked that interest in research from the beginning.
You know what's so crazy about this whole story is that that's exactly what you do for work now.
Exactly.
You present
right
all your projects and ideas to get an A.
To get an A.
Still this day.
Yeah, you still and also like when you were sharing you wanted to help, like you're also helping people understand, right, like how these products connect to the clinical research. Like
yeah, totally. Like I said, it was totally not the plan, but it's funny how one door opens the next, right?
Yeah.
So similar to you, kind of following that passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And doing what you love.
Yeah.
Do you have any mentors that kind of helped guide you throughout that way?
So many. I always tell everyone, you cannot get enough mentors. You can have mentors in your personal life, professional life. And especially for me, early on, I come from a very humbling background. So having, not being afraid to ask for help, I had to learn that very early on and seek guidance and support. So I have a lot of mentors. And still today, I'm connected to all my mentors from high school, college, grad school, and inside of our company, I have a lot of mentors. Some folks who are much older than I am, folks who are my age and same level. So peer mentoring is also very important. That's something that I truly cherish because I would not be here today if it was not for my mentors. All of them.
Oh, love that. All of them. Every single one. That.
Yeah.
Aww.
And this is a great segue to our first break. And we're back from our break.
Hey, everyone. So we were talking all about your journey and your path. And I know part of that was in the labs at some point, right, in your journey. I just recently was able to go and spend a little time at the L'Oreal R&I. It was fascinating to see. It was just gorgeous, like watching all of the lab work being done, they have these big, huge glass screens, and it's like a big community. And I know they've evolved, like how they're working there, which was so cool to understand. So curious for you as a clinical researcher, what does like a typical day look like in that role, or like what projects do you work on?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So, yeah, research and innovation, or R&I, which is our equivalent of our research and development division, is fascinating. So I joined L'Oreal as a cell biologist into the clinical innovation teams as part of our R&I division, research and innovation division. And a lot of the skills that I learned early on is exactly what I tend to leverage on and use in my daily day today into my new role. So a day into a clinical research role, such as mine, that really also focuses on scientific communication, honestly, I go from either working on initiating a new project, monitoring ongoing projects, and then reviewing results from these projects in order to think about the communication plan.
Yeah.
So initiating a project usually involves me reading a lot of the literature, what has been done in the field, what has not been done, and what are some of the gaps and opportunities for our team, our brand, and our division, and also our company. So it's a lot of reading because I got to catch up on the literature on what has been done, what has not yet been done. It's also a lot of initiating meetings with key opinion leaders within the field of dermatology to get their thoughts and opinion on what are some of the gaps and opportunities for them or for their patients, because our goal is really to care for our patients and consumers, just in people in general. So that's the initiating part of my initiating project. So a lot of reading and initiating meetings with thought leaders in the field of dermatology. Another piece, when I'm monitoring ongoing projects and looking at results, guys, it's me looking at Excel files, looking at data, trying to make sense of the data. Okay, it looks like organizing, exactly. What is improving over time? How is it improving over time? Is there differences between the individual's light skin tones and dark skin tones? So I'm looking at patterns, a lot of Excel files and data, but it's looking at the improvement over time, the improvement versus another product for comparison, or how does it, what does the data tells us? Because sometimes, when we think of communication, we're already thinking about, okay, is this communication more for education? Is it more for advocacy? Are we raising awareness on something that is important? So I spend a lot of my daily time looking at Excel files, but looking at data and what is the data is telling us. Yeah. And then the last piece of my day-to-day, because it's always those three key activities, thinking about the communication plan. So now I'm connecting with our research and innovation division, or maybe the education training team, or even conferences and journals, because now we gotta disseminate this information from our studies behind our, backing up our products. So the third piece is really, okay, now that I know what the data is telling us, what is the best way to communicate it, and who should I partner with?
Yeah. Okay. That's amazing.
It's a lot of meetings and reading and thinking and strategizing, but it's kind of connecting the dots.
So you're taking that research and that science that everybody in those clinical offices are like testing and performing, and then you get to analyze it, research it, and then figure out, how do we get this great information to everyone?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Most of the communication that I oversee is scientific communication. So it's a lot of the type of communications that dermatologists and other healthcare providers seek out. Because most healthcare providers think about, how could I better care for my patients? So they go to journals, they go to conferences. So my communication, I'm thinking, okay, if we have a project on a topic, dermatitis, for example, where does it need to go? Yeah. In what format? Is it a publication? Is it a webinar? Is it a podcast? As we're doing. So I tend to partner with a lot of our internal partners and external partners for that.
So you're helping design like what conferences maybe for what piece of material. And then once you choose that conference, then you have a lot of preparation for that conference, like to make sure that messaging is
exactly
kind of like when you were in high school getting ready for that presentation.
Exactly.
To get the A.
To get the A. Yeah. What are the gaps? Because people want to understand what is the issue? Why do we need to care? You got to get the buy-in. And then, okay, so now we know the gaps, we know the issue. based on this project, what is the objective? Is the objective to raise awareness? Is the objective to crack a new mode of action? You know, being a cell biologist, is the overall objective is to test a new product and see how does it work. Yeah. Okay, that's the objective. And then you do the test, you get the results, and then what does the result say? Does it say, does it work? Is the awareness being raised? Is there a place for education and advocacy? So it's exactly that. Making sure that the messaging is right.
I have a great question too.
Yeah.
Out of all the incredible work, you tell us some projects that you've been working on that you're like you launched, you're so excited about, past projects or anything in the future?
Yeah, no, thank you. So very great question.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting project, but if I had to pick one to talk about it, it's really this new project that we kicked off towards the end of last year related to atopic dermatitis and xerosis, which is severe dry skin. La Roche-Posay, as a brand, has a strong history of advocating for folks that have atopic dermatitis, so very severe dry skin. And more research really demonstrated that actually a lot of folks of darker skin individuals are more likely to get atopic dermatitis or severe dry skin. But in the research world, it's still not very clear why is that? Why are folks of color more likely to get certain diseases? So we kicked off a new project to really find out the root of why skin of color versus white individuals, the prevalence might be different. And we found very interesting result that there is in fact a difference. There's also a difference in how patients experience the disease. You know, some folks may experience more itching than others. And so that was very exciting work to work on. And we also partnered with really thought leaders in the field to try to see where are the gaps and where can we bring new knowledge to the field so that, again, healthcare providers and dermatologists can better counsel. I think that's one of the key projects that was really nice because it was a 360 approach, you know?
Yeah.
There was a product, there was a gap, and we're able to bring forth new knowledge that will serve the community and the doctors.
Amazing. That's amazing. Are there ever, in your research, any surprises that like something doesn't, like show as you thought it would, or, like, and then you're like navigating that?
So short answer, all the time. All the time. Research is so unpredictable. Sometimes we, based on the current data, we set up the right test with the right methodology. You think that the change may go up or go down.
It's supposed to go this way.
And then it just stays the same, for example. And what does the data mean? That's why when I go back to what I was saying earlier, it's very important to look at the data and what is the data is telling us and what does it mean for the field, for example. So yes, all the time I have to have contingency plans. Okay, if it doesn't go the way that we expect, how can we spin or how can we leverage the data in a new way that we haven't thought about?
Amazing. Amazing. But like learning is like, you're always doing it as you go. And speaking of learning, like into the future, like what do you see? Like, I know you were just telling us a study that you just are working on. Like, is that going to progress? Are there other things coming that you could give us a little
preview? So I definitely think that healthcare or the world of medicine in general, the direction that we're going is personalized medicine. You will hear that for it's been around for a very long time, personalized medicine. And now being a beauty world, it's similar, personalized beauty for all, inclusive beauty. I think the trends now where the field is going is how can we develop the right product for the right skin condition or hair condition or nail condition for the individual.
Yes.
Because I think we're all beautiful in our own way. And now, what we're trying to achieve is inclusive beauty for all. And I think that's a trend. I don't think it's a trend. I think it's going to stay. But that personalized beauty care, that personalized medicine, everyone wants to feel represented. Included, exactly. And I think that's here to stay. And that's
even
very
like
exciting.
Research, right? It's like
research-wise,
even research kind of going that way to make sure everyone's included.
Exactly. Absolutely. Making sure that our studies are inclusive on all skin tones. So I think, again, I'm really excited about this. I think it's a new frontier that L'Oreal as a company are really leading the way. I think it's here to stay. That personalized beauty care, beauty for all.
That's amazing. Well, this has been so wonderful to hear your journey. We are so excited that you were with us today. And I learned so much about your journey and honestly connected to what your experience was, like, even just wanting to help people and getting in the right and presenting too, I guess, a little bit.
And
more or less.
for me, we have so much in common.
Yeah,
Who would have thought?
Yeah,
We
We
come
do.
from such different backgrounds,
Yeah.
but similar, like the passion for education
Yes.
and skincare and beauty
Yeah.
all kind of led us here.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us. And we're for sure going to have Awa again. So look out for those episodes. Until next time, everyone.